Welcome in, Minnesota high school football fans, players, and coaches. We're getting down there. This is a quarterfinal, a state quarterfinal edition of the podcast. So we've come a long way from preseason, a long way from week one, and even midseason. We're getting into the thick of postseason, really, and kind of dwindling down these teams and seeing who is going to make U.S. Bank Stadium. Coach Wilkie's alongside of me again today. Coach, how are you doing? You ready?
I'm doing great.
This
This is probably, other than the first week of the season, this is my favorite week because you've narrowed it down to those final 8 teams that we've been kind of talking about all season, and you wondered who they were going to be, and there was some surprises, some not surprises, but this is just the most fun week, the quarterfinals. As you wind it down to obviously to the championship, that gets really exciting. But I think there's 8 teams in 7 levels of football in Minnesota right now that all believe they have a chance to be state champions. They're coming off huge wins. Every team had a section championship victory, so everybody's riding high. They all raised a trophy. They all got medals, and now they have to turn their focus to trying to win a state championship. So super exciting week, some great matchups at all the levels. I'm excited to talk about all of them.
Yeah, we go through this preseason is when everybody's super high, optimistically, like saying their team's going to be better, and you're like, okay, are we going to really see that? Because every team thinks they're going to be positive, like have a positive mindset going into the season, and then the season plays out. But like you mentioned, all these teams do have like a valid reason now on like to get to the bank or to win the state championship, and that's not only if I get excited for it, I can only imagine what the coaches, the programs, and the players are thinking about. Especially for some teams that haven't been there, maybe last year, 2 years ago.
No doubt. I mean, I've coached in weeks like this, the first round week, and I think the teams. I think as a coach, the biggest thing first thing I look at is what's the weather like this week. Not every team has a great indoor operation if that happens, but they're going to have great weather at least for practice, and they'll have to deal with a little bit of maybe some wetness or cold on Saturday, but. No, I think that's the very first thing. After this week, it doesn't matter because everybody's going to be inside.
Last outdoor game of the season.
So I think that's a big deal this week, because the weather can still play a little bit of a factor. But I've had a few of these, and I've had some unbelievably cold games, and with some snow and everything, in these first round games of state. So, but it doesn't look like it's going to be like that. It's going to be a factor. So every team is going to have a great opportunity, all playing on turf fields, and so it's not going to be field conditions. It's going to come down to execution.
This is why it's hard for spread offenses to make it to the bank for certain condition-wise. You play a heavy run team in playoffs, either the state quarterfinals or even section finals, and you're reliant on the weather to be somewhat decent. No matter how good of a spread team you are, it's always going to be a little bit weather reliant. So
I guess my own personal experience, I had a team a few years ago. We played Elk River in the first round of the state, and I think we had 500 yards of offense. We threw, I think Connor Kniffley was a Mr. Football finalist. I think he threw for 300 yards. And it's like 7 degrees wind chill, probably an inch of snow on there. So I'm like, I left that game as a coach after all the years just thinking, if anybody says you can't throw and catch it in the bad weather, it's just maybe you're not good at it anyway. So it can be done. It's not the easiest thing, but it can be. I think the special teams comes into play more than the passing game, honestly. I think the kicking and catching of the ball in inclement weather is probably the scary thing. We saw that a little bit on Friday night with the rain. So
yeah,
it's that stuff can come into play, but it's the last week for that.
Yes, indeed. Before we get into, we're going to start with 6A, make our way down. We've been starting the last 3 or 4 podcasts with something to up high school football in any way you want to take it. With the way I'm going to take it, this podcast is I'm going to talk about section seating, and I think we'll talk about this a little bit.
You're stealing mine. That was my same thing.
Okay, well,
go ahead. You go. No, go ahead. Go ahead.
Talk about this because the big one is we'll talk about the 5A section seating that happened, but I think my thing is I don't think teams within the section should be able to vote within like their section, because politics start to happen and you kind of want to line up the matchup that's best for your team and yada, yada, yada. So I think like a coach just looking, maybe even just looking at the box scores of the games with pretty much zero context would be able to have a pretty good seeding of where the teams are in the section. And I think once you let teams or coaches inside of those
Well,
teams decide that, I
I
think
think I think the one thing that, and people hate it because when it's good for you, you love it. When it's not good for you, you hate it. But we do have the QRF system, and you could simply just say everybody's going to use QRF. But as it is right now, each section gets to make that determination, and that's kind of how they do it. You were texting me, and we were talking about it. So I'm sure people are looking at some of the seeding and like, how does Elk River have a higher seed, right, than Alexandria, and so on? And I said, well, the coaches vote. Those 4 coaches are going to vote, and they're going to vote not necessarily who they think is best, and sometimes they want to vote for a gamble on a matchup. So there's a little bit of gamesmanship there. I don't know. I understand your philosophy of having an outside entity seed it, but if that's the case, then I think we'd probably just use the computer system, because the computer doesn't have any care factor. But you and I are on the same page, because I do think the seeding is a controversial thing, because first round matchups are obviously huge in terms of who teams want to play and don't want to play out of the gate, based on probably what a coach thinks they're good at. If you have a tough time stopping the pass game, the last thing you want to see is a team like Moorhead, maybe, right? Or
right.
So I think that comes into play. A team like Alexandria, maybe you don't want to play that. So vice versa on a run stop game too. So I agree with you. I think we're on the same kind of topic this week. I guess my only other thing is I saw this week where there's still sections that are playing neutral sites for championship games, and I disagree with that. I think those if you're the 1 seed and you earn the 1 seed, you should get the home field advantage. I don't think they should be playing off site. I think the only way that would come into play is if there was an agreement where we had field, maybe the 1 seed had a grass field and it was muddy, or it was not in good play condition like that. But man, I cannot imagine looking at some of these teams not playing on their home field when they're the 1 seed. But that's our rant for the week. Did we solve it?
And I think it goes beyond sections too, because whoever makes the 6A state tournament as well, I know it's 6A people that do that. So there is something where if you're a person making the bracket and your school is in it, you're going to, no matter how non-biased you think you are, you're probably going to, I would argue that there is some sort of something that goes into you maybe
without a doubt
making it.
I mean, it's as a coach, and you're looking at it as an opportunity to vote in a way that gives your team the best chance, the best matchup in the first round. I don't care what that team did during the year. If I have an opportunity to move the chess pieces around, we went through it. They used the seeding process, and I thought the seeding process is fair. I think, I've got my big, tournament thing here. I've been writing on for the 6A, but I thought the bracket for 6A was perfect.
Yeah.
Based on anything. The only one that probably threw it off was Moorhead, but you could say Moorhead was a 3 seed and they played Blaine. It was just the difference of playing at Blaine. So I think that all worked out anyway. But I thought the bracket in 6A was, I don't know who would be the complainer on that, but I thought it was done well. And I'm excited for the matchups this week.
Yes, for sure. Let's get into some of the matchups this week, as well as what we saw a little bit last week. So before we get started, you're going to see my 7-on-7's logo in a lot of these slides. If you've been a listener, you know that my 7-on-7 has been a sponsor. But whether you're a coach, player, or even parent wanting to get your kids more involved in the off season, go give their website a look. I'll have some links in the description to even just go register. The links to register will be there. And if you have any questions on like how to register or what to do, you can send Minnesota School Football Network a DM on Instagram, and I can help you, just because I've played in the league for growing up from youth to high school. Or I'm sure you can reach out to my 7-on-7 via email or via Instagram, and they can answer any questions that you have in getting your high school signed up or your middle school team signed up, whichever. But Definitely. It's a great opportunity to get the season rolling for 2026 and not 2025.
Yeah.
So get the ball rolling, get some chemistry going, and some sites around the Minnesota state. That's not just the metro. I know there's a Rochester location. I know there's some more locations.
Yeah.
So go check them out. Get your team signed up. Get you signed up. If it's just you, again, you don't need a team. You just need to be one player, and they'll assign you a team. So you got no excuses to not register and kind of up your game this offseason. So go
Yeah,
do that.
if you're a perimeter player, especially receiver, quarterback, D back, I don't. If you've got an opportunity to do this, I don't see why you wouldn't. So I get it if you're a winter sport athlete, but if you're not on a wrestling team or basketball team or hockey team in the winter, you should be out there catching footballs or defending a receiver
All right,
or both.
take advantage.
That's
Take
right.
advantage. We got the bright purple
Oh,
slide
I've been
signaling
waiting for this. I've been
where
waiting
we're
for this.
going.
This is
So
fantastic.
I'll let you start. Start wherever.
Yeah, I mean, let's start with the ones that we were just ho hum, right, and eliminate those. We were spot on with the Lakeville South being not a fun game. The Maple Grove East should not being a fun game. Moorhead scoring 64 points is wild. I don't know about giving up 48. Pretty kind of suspect there, but and then I think I told you Shakopee was just disappointing because most of the season I watched them and I just thought they were really through week 4, just loved it. And then I just felt like I don't know what happened on the internally, but it just Huff and Centennial really flexed their muscles on offense and defense and ball controlled that game out. So, but if we work over to the games on the other side, wow. So those bracket, that left side of that column, I could not believe the Rosemont St. Michael game.
Yeah.
I wanted to double check to see if that was accurate
Mhm.
because I really thought Rosemont was a solid football team. So, and I know STMA has come on late in the season. So, really hats off to those guys to really right the ship and get into the state tournament and really have an opportunity to, continue making some noise.
I think the Irish will be back next fall.
Oh yeah.
If I had to
Oh, yeah.
guess. So, although you could call it a disappointing ending, and I think they would also call it a disappointing ending.
Yeah.
The experience, even not just from like this loss, but throughout the whole year, because you think about last year, what they have was it one win, and I
Yep.
get they were a
Mhm.
lot of them were close games, but like that matters, and going forward, it's a whole lot more confidence this team is going to have going
Mhm.
into next season. So
Yeah, no
watch out,
doubt.
everybody.
No
They're
doubt.
going to be coming pissed off into next season.
Yeah,
So
no, honestly, that is a good offseason motivator when you have your sights set on going really deep and getting to US Bank. And then, you have that situation like, where they get shut out. Only gave up 14 points because I know their defense is solid, but the offense didn't put the defense in very good situations. I think the next eyebrow raising score was the Tonka Prior Lake game. And I know you've kind of been on the Prior Lake thing most of the year. Tonka having the starting quarterback and Caleb Francois getting moved back to his natural position and only scoring 2 touchdowns that's also kind of suspect to me.
I would say not a suspect because, like you mentioned, I've been probably the biggest Prior Lake fan this season, and I think they are a
Mm-hmm.
very formidable team. So I think that's just a close game. And Minnetonka Prior Lake was, however many inches away from
Mm-hmm.
that pass being almost to tie the game up going in a 14
Sure.
all at the end of the fourth quarter. But even that, if they win an overtime game, I would say what's more suspect is giving 48 to Woodbury than that to Prior Lake. Um,
Oh,
I think Prior Lake got their, from what it sounds like, I didn't see the full thing, but penalties killed them at the end of the game and made them back up a little bit more in the red zone. And even just that, I mean, that Brinkman pass was a few yards away from being caught in the end zone to tie the
sure.
game up. So
I guess I was expecting kind of a Moorhead, or excuse me, Minnetonka to have more of a Moorhead type situation where Jet Feeney comes back and bam, we're just flying down the field and using Caleb Francois all over the place, Jet throwing passes to him, and to only put two TDs on the board, I think was surprising to me. I'm not saying the game could have been close. I know Prior Lake hasn't been super dynamic offensively most of the season, and their defense is fantastic. But nonetheless, if Minnetonka is a team that we're thinking is going to potentially in their eyes, they're thinking about winning the state championship, right?
Right. Yeah.
I just feel like they, first game back, knock the rust off, and maybe it'll be a little bit, different story, moving forward. But
yeah, if I'm a Minnetonka fan, I think my response, my fan perspective would be like, oh, we got to acclimate. We got to get our quarterback back. Mm-hmm. Give us a couple weeks. These games are going to be expected to win. And then going into even the STMA game, they thought they were going to play Rosemount, which who knows, STMA is going to be a better team than what they were thinking and what also we were thinking going into this
Well, it's a much different, I'm guessing if they were doing their scouting a week ahead, like they should be, I'm guessing they were probably spending a little bit more time on Rosemount, than STMA, but we'll come back to the picks in the next round. We can finish up. I know you were at the Forest Lake Edina game. I watched it today on replay, and that game that was a heck of a football game. If you're just an outsider with no dog in the fight, man, that could not have been more entertaining. I just feel badly for Forest Lake, and I would have felt badly for Edina. I mean, both teams played so hard, played so well. I think that the best part of that game for me is I've seen Mason West throw the football well, but man, did he use his feet to keep that game alive. He had a couple fourth down scramble runs and, the touchdown run, and he really kind of threw the offense on his back a couple times and made plays. So, but Forest Lake, the interception was probably the turning point right away, and that where they had they were up 21-7, and you're thinking, man, they're one drive away from a knockout. And Edina drives and then gets the interception and goes in and ties the game, and it was like, wow, just whiplash,
Yeah,
it was. What was the feeling in the stadium? What was the feeling in the stadium? I mean, watching online.
A wet one.
Yeah, it was wet. It was wet.
It favored Forest Lake, the conditions wise. I think if you told Forest Lake going into the game that it was going to be like that, they'd be like, oh yes, that's good for us. Mm-hmm. And I think it was, but I think my main takeaway from the game is basically what you just said of Mason West using his legs and not, everybody talks about the quarterback and him being one of the best throwers in the state, which he is, but he used his legs really effectively when he needed to. And I think the overtime touchdown, it was
let's back up before we get to overtime. Let's back up to the clutch field goal.
Oh, yeah.
Right in the rain. No, that's a 42-yard field goal to get it to overtime. That's, the snap, the hold, the kick in that weather. That's high school. That's high school football, and there's college kids that can't pull that off, and whatever. So, there was so many great plays, and I don't think those kids have anything to hang their head about. It's just, it's just sad to lose, and especially when it's a team that, I know Coach Biscow felt like that's a team that could potentially be playing in the last game. But man, when you get to this point, everybody's good, and mistakes that you could make during the regular season you can't make now and get away with it, and it's just tough.
Right. Yeah. Shout out Jaden, Forest Lake's kicker, senior. He's one of the best in state, and I think that kid goes to show it. Even though it didn't, people would remember it a lot more if Forest Lake did win the game, but since they didn't lose the game, it's probably not going to be.
Well, and it's Coach Biscow's decision to go for it.
Right.
And I don't have a problem with that. I think when you have the game right there and you can win it on a play, otherwise you could have kicked the PAT and we'll go to the next overtime.
Yeah.
But when you're right there, I have no problem, and I'm glad he did that. I would have done the same thing. You have a play in your back pocket that you want to run. I like the play. I like the gadget play. The left side of the offensive line kind of collapsed, and they got if they would have just had one more, not even a full second, where he could have really got that ball thrown. He just got pressured so quickly, and but the quarterback's standing there wide open, and the game's over. Yeah. So great play call. I like the gadget play. It's just tough to execute in full speed like that with the leaky offensive line. So that's the way it goes.
The internet commenters get to win because if it doesn't work, they can comment, "Why did you do that? It shouldn't have called it, whatever."
Well,
but if it works,
everybody's right after.
Not commenting. right?
That's my whole life as a coach. Everybody's right after the fact. It's like,
Right.
come on. So, but
It
no,
was
that was
definitely
a
a
hell of a
gutsy
football game.
call.
Hell of a
Probably wouldn't
football
have
game.
one I've done, but that I just want to give him credit for making it and being like, this is going to come down to this play, and having the confidence in your team to go run a gadget play like that. That they wouldn't have called it if they didn't think it was going to work. Just
Sure. I'm guessing they've run it 100 times in
yeah.
practice. So
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Do you have anything more to add
now
to
I
that
get
game?
no, I don't. I want to get to the Eden Prairie. I thought, Champlin, hats off to Champlin too. They had a solid football team this year and battled a really physical Eden Prairie team that I probably would maybe be my next Rosemont style, where they're not quite in that conversation of the top 4 teams that have been getting talked about so much. But I don't think anybody should be surprised if Eden Prairie is playing in the last game. They're just sound, and they're big up front and they can ball control. So, I mean, it'd be a pretty, I don't know if it'd be exciting, but to see Centennial versus Eden Prairie in the final, the game would be over in 55 minutes, but running ball, but I wouldn't be surprised. Eden Prairie has been playing really well this last part of the season, and they just keep finding ways. They tell the coaching staff, and they did.
They
They
did
really
better
did.
than I thought, because I thought that was my expectation going into the game of, okay, I think Eden Prairie should handle Champlin pretty good. And I don't think that was the case. I don't think they got what I was expecting them to get. So props to Champlin. They were one of the teams that I think performed better than probably my overall thought of them was this season, but definitely gave EP a good test going into round 2. So
yeah, I agree with that. So it's going to be a fun matchup. We want to talk predictions now before we go to 5A?
Yeah, let's go.
Let's do it.
All right. So, hey, I'll give you first pick on the prediction. We're each going to get 2 picks, and then the default, whoever we don't pick will be the other person's pick for that week.
All right.
So
I'm going to go top right first, and I'm going to pick Eden Prairie over Edina.
All right. Hey, that's a smart pick there, going just based on, that's a history pick. These guys
It is a history pick. It is a history pick.
These guys played earlier this regular season.
Is Mason West playing in that game, or is he going to get ready for hockey?
Hey, who knows? If he's been playing this far, he's going all the way. And he said before the season,
he's a competitor.
He's got one mission. He's got one mission,
that's true.
And that's to win state.
That's
because
true.
He was 1 play short his sophomore year. And I can guarantee you he's thinking about that going through every play this postseason of trying to.
Here's your opportunity.
Yeah, here's your opportunity. What I'm going to go with, I'm not going to get. We're going to go there.
There you go. You better take that one. That's the gimme. This is like tic-tac-toe. I gave you the center. I gave you the center call right there. I'm going to go down and take Maple Grove over Lakeville South.
All right. Ooh.
And now I left you at this one. I did that on purpose.
Yeah, that was
I want you to have to. What is this going to be? Is it going to be the team that can pound the rock and control the game, or is it going to be the dynamic Jet Feeney to Mac show?
I'm going to say these past 2 years, I've given a lot of predictions that favor the more spread, the more passing team, and it's kind of come back to bite me. Okay. It's probably going to be, I think it's going to be pretty cold on Friday. I think that favors Centennial a little bit. I think Moorhead's still going to be able to score and pass the ball. Don't get me wrong. And Moorhead, don't get at me, because I basically called you state champions of next season already. Okay. So you guys can't get too mad at me. I'm going to go with Centennial here.
Yeah. I think that's a good pick. I will say, if Centennial has a weakness, I think they struggle in the secondary a little bit defending pass, and going against a really prolific pass offense is going to be tough for them. If they're going to win this football game, Centennial needs to control the ball. They can't have penalties where they get backed up and they have to get 15 or 20 yards for first down. But if they run power and they run their quarterback power play and just take care of it, they'll keep Jet Feeney on the sideline, and he'll be chilly, trying to stay warm before he can get back out there. But Moorhead definitely has a chance to win this football game. There's no doubt there. It's not a real 1-6 seed, if you ask me, playing each other.
Feeney's got to be careful with the rock. Not careful because you don't want to play quarterback trying not to throw an interception. That's not the mindset you want to have.
Nope.
But these turnover-worthy plays that we've talked about, and we saw a decent amount in the
Blaine game.
The Blaine game.
Yeah, I thought it was risky passing.
Even an interception, just one interception could be the difference of this game. And
yeah, especially if it's Centennial and you don't get it back. Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, you throw it. You get behind the ball on the clock. It's like, I thought in the game the other night we were watching. Who was it? I'm trying to think. Anyway, bottom line is this: if the team scores right before half and then they start with the football, or you turn the ball over right before half and the other team starts with the football, like that second half start is huge. So a turnover or giving up a touchdown because of a turnover right before half and then not starting with the football is tragic. So some of those intangibles come into play, I think. So look out for those issues for sure.
Yes, for sure. I think Centennial Moorhead's defense has been the biggest question mark, I think, of 6A, because if Moorhead's defense is good, I think Moorhead would be probably battling to be a state champion this season. But I think with that defense, it just scares me off. Let's go to 5A. Some good 5A games. Some interesting ones.
Great.
The Bemidji Alex game was a little bit more uninteresting than I thought it was going to be and that I wanted it to be.
That was the only out of the 8 games, just the Spring Lake Park Buffalo and Alex Bemidji game were the ones the Spring Lake Park win didn't surprise me. I think I picked that, but the fact that Spring Lake Park blows up and scores 45 points was eyebrow raising. So there's that. But Alex scoring 49, not a big deal, I guess. But Bemidji not being able to keep pace with them after the last game they played. So, but Alex finds their way into the state tournament, and it'll be we were just talking about. We'll get to the matchups here in a minute, but it's going to be fun to see how these teams don't look past the first round. You know what I mean? Because there's some big matchups that are going to be fun.
Yes, there is. Hey, we see Creighton and Matamidi. The second game, usually the rematch doesn't live up to the hype. These two teams played a really good game in their first matchup, and you're like, oh, it's going to be a really good one. Kind of like the Alex Bemidji game. I think that was a good game in the regular season. But this Creighton Matamidi game, it was a shootout. Shout out Isaac Johnson, broke a Creighton record. He passed Joe Mauer for, I think it was single game passing touchdowns, I want to say. Could be wrong. He passed Joe Mauer something in a single game record. I know that.
Yeah.
Impressive quarterback there. Yeah. Anything? What do you see?
No, I just see, anytime you're in a section championship game, and I usually feel like, and I told you this before and I stand by it, if you have to outscore teams to win, it's hard to win a championship. Defense usually is the thing, and neither one of their defenses showed up. So both offenses are just, going at will. I'm sure that game must have taken 3.5 hours. So, but Matamidi, solid football team, had a great year. It's fun to see. I think it's fun to see Creighton back in the mix. Historically, powerful program, and so really solid win, and did it with a lot of points, no doubt, and solid quarterback play.
Yeah. Chan beats Chaska. I would have thought that was going to happen before going into it, so nothing really surprising there. The Elk River Monticello game, another good one, and Elk River gets their
38 seconds left in the game, and Elk River stuffs it in there, and they were behind. Elk River's behind by a touchdown or 2 points for a good portion of that game, and had a no scoring in the third quarter, and then drove it down the field and put that touchdown in to go up and win the game. So I thought probably the surprising piece here is not that necessarily that Elk River won, but I thought the scoring was lower than it would be. Monticello's offense has been so powerful this year, and I still think Elk River's defense is a little suspect. So I think the fact that they held them to 3 touchdowns is that would tell you everything right there. If somebody just said Monticello's only going to score 3 times, I'm like, well, they're not going to beat Elk River then. So
yeah, I think when I was just taking a look and seeing who got their rematch and kind of flipped the result, and I think that was Elk River. I think Washburn did that with Southwest. Southwest
right.
got them in the regular season.
Right.
Cretan got Matamidi back. But I think all the other ones, I'm pretty sure that the team in the regular season won in the section final. Right. I think the Mayo Northfield game was a 1-point game in the regular season.
I think you're right, yeah.
But Two Rivers gave St. Thomas.
That was another one, man. That's a respectable score. Two Rivers hasn't been a team that's been in the section final, and St. Thomas obviously is a team that's got their eyes set on raising the trophy at the end. So it's going to be interesting. I think Elk River. I mean, no disrespect to Washburn, but Elk River couldn't have gotten a better draw in the first round. They'll be. I don't know if Washburn's ever played Elk River or seen them play, but that could be Elk River could have 48 points at halftime in this game. If they haven't seen that offense before and they haven't prepared for it, well, that'll be tough. I think that's an easy pick, that one. I'm jumping ahead of you, but
I bet the coaching staff is consuming a lot of huddle film of Elk River.
Yeah, the problem is if you haven't played them before, it's hard to simulate that in practice.
You can get all the huddle film you want, and your scout team is not going to run anything close. You can get them in the right spot and everything, but we've all been a part of scout team in some shape or form, and it's just not. You can't.
Well, and people try a lot of different things against Elk River, and ways to stop it. And some people have done a good job at it. Monticello did it. But I told you, Coach Hamilton is a hell of a good football coach, and he saves his best stuff for this time of year, and that's why he comes back and gets you. They do things that they don't do during the regular season. They do a lot of false pulls and different counterweight, run counter differently than they run it, during the regular season. So some of the stuff you're practicing, it's just a setup. It's like going fishing, throw the lure in the water and see if somebody will bite it. And I think that's part of why he's got a few state championships under his belt.
Credit to you. You've been banging the Coach Hamilton drum since the start of the season.
He and I have had some battles. So I know it. I respect him a lot.
All right. Should we get to some of our picks?
Yeah. I guess I made mine already. So you get to go first, though. So I already stole it. You can have the free space.
Oh, and I will gladly take the free space.
This is for the Coles cash again. We need to check our Cole's bank account, see what we got in there for the amount of money that's going exchanging.
I'm on the Coach Hamilton train this week.
I like it. That's going to be a good one. Yes. I'm going to go down and take Chan over Cretan.
That's a good pick.
I think Chan is a little more solid on defense than Cretan is, and that's going to be my tipping point.
I like that, and I think, using my logic, I'm going to go – I think this one's going to be more of a free game than the one on the top right of our screen, as much as I want to pick.
Okay.
So I'm going to go St. Thomas Academy as my other pick, and that leaves you with Alexandria SLP.
See, I think that bottom left is just an upset ripe game, if you ask me. But
all right,
we'll see. I think a team like St. Thomas Academy could be looking ahead at their Elk River film already.
Trap game there.
Whatever. But yeah. So
I think this game.
We're back. You have them on the top, not side to side. So it's Elk River. Yeah, right. My bracket sheet is different than yours. So I was looking top to bottom.
Well, they go north and south.
Yes, I got you.
They go north and south. So I kind of separated the 4 teams on the
I see it. I was looking at it sideways. Yeah. So Elk River, Alex. So that'll be a hell of a great matchup. I'm going to take Alexandria over SLP. Even though I respect Coach Stewart at SLP, I just feel like the offensive situation at Alec, the quarterback, Witt, is a really good player, and I like that. I like their offense and defensive line a lot.
I probably would have went there, and I think we briefly touched on the seeding and how this affects kind of the path to US Bank and
Mhm.
even just the championship of Alex beat Elk River. I
Mhm.
think it was like 50 plus points or whatever
Yep.
in the regular season. Elk River had 2 losses during the regular season. Alex,
Yep.
I don't think, lost, and they do the section seedings, and Elk River's 1, and Alex is 2. I would say that's, I don't know. I'd say that's garbage from my outside perspective of
Mhm.
being like, what in the world is
Mhm.
going on? Because I don't think it's fair if you were playing the history game of being like, well, yeah, we
Yeah.
were state champions last year. I don't think that should affect
No, I
this
don't.
year.
No, I think
So
it's
I don't
people
really see
vote.
what
I think
happened.
this
I'd
is
love to see.
Well, I think this is an example of people voting for teams they don't want to play in the first round. I don't think it's, the way SLP votes. Maybe SLP is saying or Alexandria, how they voted, or how Cretan vote. You know what I mean? It's
Right.
the vote thing is probably more on who I'm not trying to play in the first
Yeah.
round. So there's that.
So
But
Alex has to
I
go
just
through SLP and Elk River to get, well, I
mhm,
guess they play. So to explain the 5A and below brackets, the north side, which you see at the top of your screen, and then the south side, the winner, the highest seeded winner or the highest left of the north teams, they play the lowest remaining south team that
mhm,
advances. So most likely that's going to be Cretan or Chan
mhm.
that Elk River will play. So take that for what it's worth. And then when you look, though, if the 1 seed advances in the south, they'll probably play either the 2 or 3 most likely, which is Alex or SLP.
Yeah.
But
Well, and I like the way they do that, only from the standpoint that it does take away what you were just talking about, of somebody just getting an easy ride in on an upset.
yeah,
And also it does ensure that, hopefully ensure, I shouldn't say ensure, but it gives us a more likely opportunity that you get the 2 best teams in the final, which is what we want. You try to avoid a final that's 47-0, right? So
right.
yeah,
Yeah. All right. There we go.
we're
5A
good.
down. The pink 4A slide. And yeah, here we go. Some tight games, some good ones. The Casson Manorville Byron game was another one uh, for the ages. Let's say I want to say Casson was down like 21-3 at one point
Mhm.
in this game,
Yep.
and to battle all the way back to win at 31-28. Byron was in scoring position. Uh, they went for it on 4th down, didn't get it, and I know Byron's been battling some injuries and whatever, but um, all the credit goes to Casson Manorville, and they're
Yeah.
the team that came out of the dreaded section
I
of
think that was my
4A.
pick. I think I picked it.
Yes, yes, you did.
Yeah, that's a good one. And
Bold Cat bonus there.
they've got a really legitimate chance to win the whole thing. And they've been, of all the teams in this that are remaining, they're definitely the most battle tested. The schedule that they
Oh
played
yes,
is something that they're not gonna see 2 teams like that and 3 teams in a row like that in the state tournament. So
that is correct, without a doubt. Hey, speaking of right picks, Fergus Falls took on Becker.
mm-hmm,
I know I had them.
yeah,
So
and I'll tell you
at
what
one
though,
point
like
there,
for Becker missed their PAT to tie it to go to overtime.
so
So
unlucky.
yeah, I mean, yeah, so just a great kind of finish for Becker. It's not the normal that they usually get, but I thought they battled through after having some tough losses, and to get in the section final and have a chance to win it, pretty impressive. So Fergus Falls kind of a newcomer compared to a couple of the teams that are in the state tournament. So kind of fun for their school and their community. So it'll
Pretty
be
sure they
interesting
just
to.
went up a class too. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I
Yeah.
think. So yeah, hey, big win for Fergus Falls and the Otters over there. Love to see it. Orono gets past Zimmerman. I thought that was going to be a better game than what was played. I
Yeah.
wouldn't be able to diagnose exactly how
Well,
he got, but I know
The TG Fridley game, I think during the regular season was like 3-0. Something
what
like that. I thought I looked that up and I was like, was it 3-0? And now it's 35-7. So anyway, the Marshall game didn't surprise. The Benilde Holy Angels game was a surprise to me. I really thought that Coach Gunderson's team was going to find their way back into the state tournament. Hermantown came out flat, man. I know Grand Rapids got a good team, but I thought Hermantown would give them a little more of a battle. And then big congrats to Coach Reeves at Hill Murray. fighting off South St. Paul Packers and earning their way into the state tournament too. So just some really, really solid efforts on championship night by all these teams.
Can we go back to the Totino before we get comments?
Was I wrong? I thought I saw it.
Was I wrong? 52-6.
52-6.
52-6.
Well then.
And
then I got bad info.
Totino basically got a free ride to state based on, I don't know who picked the section that they're playing, but it was not.
Well, it's
not
geographical, you know. It's
any
geographical.
teams in their section, but hey, they are in the right geographic area to make it to state.
For sure.
So
for sure.
Yeah. If you play a team that you beat 52-6 in the section final,
anticlimactic, anticlimactic finish, no doubt. So,
Grand Rapids took care of Hermantown. Gonna move on.
I thought that'd be better, but
I did.
Yeah, like I said, the Benilde game was as a heck of a football game to hold off Holy Angels. I really thought Coach Gunderson's team was going to end up in the final 8, but congrats to Benilde on the hanging on and making a finish.
My my first game of the week, I think it was. I went to BSM Stewartville, and those two teams played, and Stewartville kind of handled Benilde, but I think the score was better than kind of what it looked like. And hey, Benilde in state, so I think some of my opinion from week 1 has kind of been proven right a little bit.
Yeah,
we'll see if they can make some noise here in state. Definitely, cheering for them, but. Yeah, Marshall took care of Corey there. Corey goes down. Let's get into the tournament and let's make our picks here. Hey, I went first, last class, so it is your pick.
I'm gonna take Coach Reeves. I love you, great man, great coach, but I'm gonna take Casson over Hill Murray.
Just gonna ride the Casson train.
You got it. I've been with them all season.
Hey, that is a good train to ride. I would want to get on that one. I think this is a little bit danger territory because I've kind of been on the Fergus Falls bandwagon, and the only Orono game that I've got to watch was a pretty bad one for Orono because they played Byron. So I think I could be in a little trouble here, but I'm going to stick with my guns. I'm going to go.
All right.
I'm going to go Fergus Falls.
Appreciate it.
Going to make the bank.
All right. I'm going to go bottom left, and I think Marshall has a really good chance to win the whole thing. I think they're really solid on both sides of the football, so I'm going to take Marshall over TG.
I would agree with that pick. I think now, hey, it's going to force me to cheer for Totino, which I've kind of been I'm not going to say hater, maybe a low-key hater of Totino because they've kind of underperformed my expectations and also the section. I don't think a lot of them, but hey, what a better week to prove me wrong. And now I'm cheering for you. Go beat Marshall.
Sure.
Let's do it up.
Sure.
And now it's Grand Rapids and Benilde, I think.
I love this pick, actually.
Is this the most 50-50 pick on the board?
I think so, only because we don't have any reference for this.
Yeah.
Like there's not any common opponents. There's not any, Grand Rapids plays a much different schedule.
Right. I am going to go with Benilde.
Okay.
Yep.
All right.
I gotcha.
All right. I'll take the
BSM. I'm taking the upset here. Taking the upset. I think I guess we'll see how it turns out. I think me going to them and seeing them live in person helps me in making this pick. I think they're a little bit more talented than I think they got a chance here. So BSM, let's make something shake.
Yeah.
Let's do it up. But yeah, hey, the picks are in for 4.
I mean, the only thing I feel like I've got going for me in this is BSM's got a road trip it up to Brainerd. Whereas Grand Rapids is a little closer game for them. So
right.
But
little mini home field advantage there.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
3A. Here we go. talk about some of the scores here. What do you see? What are some things that pop off the page?
Yeah, I mean, I'll start. I mean, I'm a homer, so I'll start with Holy Family. I was at the game, and much closer than that score. It was a battle. Jordan came out, took the opening kickoff, got in a hurry up, no huddle situation, and kind of really caught Holy Family off guard, and they scored in like a minute. And then Holy Family was able to answer back right away and got kind of things balanced out. Probably the key turning point was third quarter. It was what looked like was going to be a safety quarterback sack. The ball gets loose and puts Holy Family up by 3 scores. So ends up being a touchdown. So that was kind of the difference. And but Jordan battled. They put a touchdown on late and got an onside kick with not enough time to do much with it. But really good football game, and Holy Family had to try to beat a team that they beat in the regular season for the second time. So, but a really fun football game. Got a little wet there too. So, but yeah, congrats Holy Family.
We got Jordan's new logo up there. Shout out, one of their players sent me an
updated
logo.
There you go.
Yeah, so there we go. It's not just the J. We got a little bit extra going on in there. So love it. Did you watch the North game? And
I have not watched the North game. No.
Well, you have to.
Okay.
It
was 100 points scored.
And St. Croix Lutheran should have won this game, but North ended up winning this game. Just a heartbreaker. St. Croix Lutheran, I think they were up 2 or something with, 2 or so minutes left. They get the kick. They go 3 and out. They punt it. There ends up being 30 or less seconds left, and North has it on the 50 or so yard line, probably a little bit more. So you're thinking, okay, I mean, who knows what high school kickers, not every team is a force like, Jaden kicking the ball for him. So even though it's a 2-point game, you're probably still going to need to score or at least get down inside the 10 or 20, whatever.
Sure.
And North, a spread out team, just looking on how it happened, they had 2 guys over, kind of a double set, which I don't know how that happens when it's under 30 seconds left, but whatever. And I think it was a little bit of a broken play there, and one of the receivers sneaks by on the left-hand side and catches a touchdown to put him up with I don't know how many seconds left, and then St. Croix Lutheran gets it back. They throw a pick 6 right away, so the score looks like North handled.
Yeah. I was following the score, and I saw St. Croix Lutheran ahead most of the game. Is tough. So, but good job, Coach Adams, getting his team in the state tournament again. Yep, he's got a couple titles under his belt. The Litchfield score did not surprise me at all. I think they're a very underrated team. They're a team that could find their way. Just if you're looking only at their record, might not think they're as powerful a team as they are, but they are.
It's one of the revenge games there. Litchfield, I think, got beat by Albany in the regular season as well.
The Dilworth, blowout. Annandale,
Here's
Cruz pass.
I think was an interesting one because I'm pretty sure both of the teams going in that game were undefeated. I want to say I could be wrong. I know they were very highly regarded, and both of the teams going into that game had very high hopes for what their season was going to turn into. So a 35-0 game. I think if I was going to expect it to be one way, I would have picked Piers by kind of not a lot, but I would have picked Piers to win in a convincing fashion.
Well, if you remember,
what we said about this game last week.
Well, remember when we go all the way back to we had Coach Walter on, the head coach from Annandale, and he said Piers was his kind of dark horse team. I said, if you guys don't win it, who do you think can win it? And he's like, Piers. So that score didn't surprise me. I think Peacock Late's probably a little different, tougher situation. I think you don't get to pick your schedule. Like they played a little lighter schedule, I think, probably, but that's the way it is. I did watch the all of the Waseca Laverne game, and Laverne is a solid football team. That game was a little closer than that score finished to be. But Waseca does some nice stuff. It was a kind of a icky field situation again, but Waseca's got a solid team. They're big up front. They've got a nice, I can't remember the name off the top of my head. He's number 7, nice receiver / free safety, long kid and had a interception, and he catches some balls. So they've got a solid football team, and but yeah, and then Pine Island does what they do. They've been winning all year and
What do you know?
taking
They
care
shut
of
out
business.
another
So
team.
right,
And
yeah.
more
I think
impressive
his name is like Ty Krebs. I don't know. He's a good player for them for sure. And then Holy Family, I guess I wanted to go back to that game because I was there. But Ethan Ryan had just a heck of a game at quarterback. And then Holy Family's defense is solid. The kid I always forget to mention on here is Will Burmeister, and he's a sophomore. Just a fantastic defensive player. He's everywhere. His name's gets, I don't know how many tackles the kids has per game, but I feel like he's on the PA every other play on defense. So we've got some great state matchups, I think, in this one, and especially some crossovers with teams that haven't seen each other before. So it's going to be really fun.
7 out of 10 games, Pine Island has held their opponent to 0 points or less. So
well, here's my thing right now. So you look at that bracket. If you want to flip it over to the bracket so we can make our picks, I wanted to point out a couple things. So you look at a team like Waseca. I don't think – now I'm a homer in this game, obviously, but I don't think Waseca's even been behind this whole season, much less being undefeated. So here's my concern for some of these teams, and not taking anything away from them from a standpoint of a good football team that can win it. But Coach Walter said this with Annandale, and I think Annandale is maybe the best team in this whole setup. But he said the same thing. How does your team respond when they're behind for the first time, or they're trailing in the first quarter, or they have to run 2-minute offense and they've got a team that's been blowing people out and the starters have hardly been on the field at the end, and now you got to run 2-minute offense to try to win the game. So there's situations that some teams have been in, like I know Holy Family has been in, where they've won games with two times won games with a minute left on the clock. So those experiences matter when you get to the end of the season. Maybe it's a tipping point, maybe it's not, but there's some really good matchups. So I'm excited for this. Who you got? Who are you picking? Or is that me first?
It is me first. And I'm going to make your life easier. I'm not going to make you take the homer pick, so I'm just going to take it for you and kind of let you rock with the other ones. Is it not updating? It's not updating, is it? Yeah.
I want to
wait for
go
it.
for it. I'm going to give
go for it. I'm going to take Waseca. I'll put the graphic up there in a little bit. I don't think it's going right now, but yeah.
I'm going to give my disclaimer again. I am home alone right now with a live piranha in my house. This 11-week-old puppy that just woke up from her nap, and I'm not exactly sure what she's destroying, but if I don't hear any noises, we'll let it go. But she is going wild over here. So anyway, she is something. I'll tell you that. Okay, so I can take Holy Family, which is a good one. I'm going to go over and take Minneapolis North.
Yeah, man, I think that's one of the more interesting games.
That's definitely an interesting game. I'm excited to see
the unbelievable defense going against a high-powered offense as well.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to shut out Minneapolis North. I'll tell you that. So,
and I'm feeling good about getting a Pine Island default there. I think that was, I don't know. I'm not even going to say coin flip because I don't know if it's a coin flip, but it's more of a wild card. Like I wouldn't be able to predict what's going to go down this game. I could see it going on multiple ways.
It's kind of a close home game for Minneapolis North. They're playing the game at Totino Grace, so I mean they got about a 15-minute drive over there. So you and Coach Walter's advice. So
yes, Piers, give them to me.
I like it. Well, I can't vote against I would love I just feel like the Litchfield game has just a subtle upset feel to it, but you can't bet against Annandale. They've been solid all season. But man, I won't be shocked if Litchfield gives them this thing comes down to a much closer ending than people would guess. But yeah, it's going to be fun for sure.
The Dragons, can they make it tight with a Titan of 3 that we've kind of seen develop this whole season? So it'll be interesting. Let's get on to some two-way ball. Caledonia ends up.
Dude, I told you this. Those guys, those coaches down there at Caledonia. Tradition does matter. I know last year I always say, I contradict myself. Like last year's wins don't win this year, but I think tradition does have a feel within your program, and they know how to build toward the end of the season, and
But to be fair with you,
just,
I think I said that, not you. So hey,
what's that?
credit to you. I said last year doesn't really.
No, and I've been saying that all year too. Like, I think that
Okay.
it's one of those things where, but I think tradition does matter within your program, where your kids do
Right.
believe they always have a chance, or they've beaten these teams before. Like, they're
Yeah.
not intimidated, and they always think they're going to find a way. So I
The
think that
confidence
matters.
aspect is definitely
Do you think
for a reason.
do you think Waterville, Eliason, is that a team that we should be talking about more? I mean, they're down there. I know where that town is. They've got an awesome
I'm glad you do.
they got an awesome water park campground called Camp Dells that I've been to a couple times, and so. But
Shout out.
they're pumped in that little town. I'll tell you that. Those people that live down in that area that get their team in the
No
state
doubt.
tournament. So
I think Maple River was a good team too
sure.
to also beat them. I think we'll take a look at who they're going to be matching up with and who they're going to be playing in the state quarterfinal. But I think that also matters when you do. Goodhue kind of took a walk in the park with Randolph. I got to see the regular season game.
Yeah. Just like my buddy said, they're not good Hue, they're great Hue.
Great Hue, yeah. And
Great
we'll see what
Hue.
they are in the quarterfinal.
Yeah, we'll see.
Game.
But for now, we're riding high on that championship.
Jackson County Central takes care of business, expected there.
Mm-hmm.
Eden Valley Watkins moves on, beats a St. Cloud Cathedral. That was a decent team. Holdingford. I think you put Osakis on an upset alert or upset.
I did, and
week.
they got down early and didn't even have a chance. So, but that's how it goes sometimes. The Holly Barnesville game was a heck of a lot closer. If you look at that one, Holly hung around for a long time until Barnesville put the nail in the coffin in the fourth quarter. So, I mean, I think hats off to them, but I think Barnesville's a really solid team too. So.
Yes. Yeah. Hey, Barnesville makes it to state, and Moose Lake beats Aiken. I think that was a Thursday game that I got to watch some of. So Moose Lake.
Did they play that one in the Fargo Dome?
No, that was outside.
Okay.
I'm not sure which location that was, but I know it was outside somewhere, and it looked decently cold.
I'm sure it was. We're getting up north. It's colder up there. I know that.
Yeah. So, hey, some good games, and I think when they take a look at the bracket, I think it's going to be a little bit more telling of what we're going to see. But let's make some predictions. I think I went first last time, so it is.
Well, I'm gonna take the center circle on the tic-tac-toe board, and I'm gonna take Jackson County Central. Even though I just spoke big of Caledonia, I think Jackson County's got a little more firepower.
All right, and then I'm gonna go with what I would call the other free square on the board, because I think this Holdingford team is coming different this year, and I think we could be definitely staring down the barrel of the 2-1 seeds making it to the state championship, and that's going to be a really fun one to watch. Two really good quarterbacks going at it. So that leaves us with 2 games here. 2 games.
I'm gonna go Eden Valley over Moose Lake.
All right. Yeah. Trying to do the Eden Valley. There you go. There's your pick. And the last one, you asked me if I'm a believer, and
yes,
I am. Great Hue is going down.
All right, Great Hue.
I've seen Good Hue though, and hey, that's a really good football team. Probably the only team on this slide that I've got to see in person this year. So I think it's not me saying Good Hue is going to lose this game because they're inferior. I think it's 2 really good teams. I'm going to go with the little bit of a wild card choice. Usually I side with the team that I have got to see, but I think I'm going to take a little bias out. I'm going to go to the other side.
I don't think it's a good bet, to be honest with you.
So hey, all the picks are in for this class. Let's go to 1A. Let's talk about it. I think a lot of these ones were in either Southwest Minnesota University or the Fargo Dome. So, yeah, Parker's Prairie gave Breckenridge a pretty good test.
They did. Yeah, they did.
They did.
I still think Breckenridge is my dark horse to, if there's going to be somebody to challenge to replace Minnesota as a dominant power at this level, I'd probably say Breckenridge has the best shot. Their running back is definitely one of the best in the state, and I think that's going to be a difference maker. But
I think I don't know. I think there's a lot of teams that could give Breckenridge a run for their money.
Mhm.
The Monoman team, I think I got to watch a decent amount of that game in the Fargo Dome, one of the local northern stations or whatever was doing the broadcast. So shout out there. They beat a Red Lake County team that I think they beat in the regular season, but Blake McCullen, I think, to
Yep.
Zach Zima, I think I'm saying that right, is a 99-yard passing play. I think it's just a streak on the sideline. And
That was a
it
great
has
video
to,
that they posted.
it
Great
has to
video that got
tie
posted.
the longest play from scrimmage, no matter what
Yeah,
happened.
you can't. Yeah, you can't do
I
it
don't know
longer
if
than
there
that.
was another 99-yard play. Maybe put it in the comments if you have a play that went 99 yards this season. But hey, shout out there. Barnum took care of MIB there. They had, I think this was Julian Beckstrand, ran for 300 yards and 3 touchdowns.
And that's a game like I will say in some of these situations too, just like the Minnesota game. I think in championship games, when you get out to a fast start, it's panic factor on the other side. I feel like scoring first matters. You get up by 2 scores early, and it's tough on a team unless they've really got a defense that can come out and find a way to get stops.
The snowball effect. It can really
without a
start
doubt,
to
it's
press.
a snowball effect. Without a doubt,
really start to press. Uppsala, 54-12, a really convincing win for a section final game. This Murray County Central team took down a Springfield team that I think was Minnesota's, I want to say, best competition last season based on the schedule they played. So I know you've been a Murray County Central fan too as well this
because the
season.
Rebels logo is
riding
fantastic.
High. Yeah, we're both riding high on the Rebels, and
for sure.
I think they might be another dark horse here that not a lot of people are talking about. But I think
I'm excited to see some of these teams and get into US Bank so we can see them live.
Yes, for sure. And then Fillmore Central played Lewiston Altura, beat them 34-21, and Lester Prairie advances as well. Yeah, Lester Prairie. I remember it being very hard for me to find pictures for graphics for Lester Prairie. So
good job finding that.
We'll see another round. We'll see what I can find for this week. But yeah, let's get into the state tournament bracket here.
You're going to take the free square?
I will take the free square, yes.
Do it.
It's gotten there. Let me move. It's not updating. It's moving on my screen. You'll see it update in a little bit. I take.
There it is.
Yoda.
I'll take. Then I'll go up on top, and I'm going to back up my words and use my cold cash to pick Breckenridge.
Yes. Hey, that's a default Barnum pick there. That I'm feeling real nice about, as John Gruden would say, real nicey. Yes, and then I want to avoid the bottom right game because I like both of those teams too much to pick against one of them. Screw it. I'm going to go Fillmore Central.
Thanks, man. I get to go stay with the Rebels. I love it.
I think that's going to be probably the best game in this crop.
I think you're probably right. Well, up in Becker High School, Monoman's going to come and play Uppsala, and I'm going to take the Monoman Thunderbirds.
That's a good pick. Good pick there.
I think it is.
Hey, was this the first one that we have all the highest seeds moving on? And I think that's a red flag for us. I think one of these teams is going to go down. What do you think?
Yeah. I mean, I think that bottom right is probably the one if it's a flip around, but that's 2 versus 3 isn't necessarily always an upset.
Right. Indeed. All right, let's go. We're going through it. We got 9-player. The biggest one, Kitson County Central game. Stephen Argyle goes down.
God, just a battle. I think that was my upset pick. I took Stephen Argyle in that, and they battled. just couldn't get enough offense going late in the game to find their way to tie it up at least.
If I'm remembering right, I didn't take hard fast notes, but I know Kitson stopped them when goal to go. I think it was end of the first half, I want to say, and that was a huge momentum swing that really helped Kitson County. I think there was another 4th and short stop somewhere in the second half that I can remember that they stood strong. So, hey, don't run. Hey, just beware. 4th and short against Kitson County. It might not
They're tough
be
defense,
the
Stonewall
biggest,
defense.
right? It might not be the
Stonewall
best bet
defense.
for you to get a first down there.
The Fertile Beltrami game and Fossen they had a
Brierstrom had 5 touchdowns.
Yeah,
in
that's
3 quarters or the first half.
That's just a
nasty
blowout.
performance from
Hillcrest Lutheran. Same thing. Like that's just kind of coasted. But that's Wabasso after their big, exciting comeback win the week before.
The Cinderella story
comes up a little short against Red Rock. So, but a heck of a season for them, and I'm sure that was you kind of feel that momentum to keep going. But good job by Red Rock Central holding.
I think that was also a good. I want to say, and you can keep talking, but I want to say the regular season matchup between those two teams was a really good matchup as well, a really close competitive game. So
sure.
Those are always fun ones.
The Cromwell game, we knew that was going to be not very competitive. Same with Hills Beaver Creek. They were nice and let Edgerton score a couple times. So, but otherwise, that's how that goes. The Spring Grove game, kind of surprising if you ask me. I really thought that was. I think I picked Spring Grove in that game, and obviously give Mabel Canton's defense all the credit in the world of shutting them out. But I just don't know how you get shutouts in 9-player. Honestly,
a lot of space. Yeah,
it's so much space, and I mean, if you get shut out, that other defense is solid because there's a lot of room.
Yeah, I think Spring Grove is a team that likes to spread it out more than
a
lot of 9-player teams as well. So that makes it even more impressive. And then the Cook County game, the Battle of the Vikings, Cook County comes up victorious there. So definitely a fun, interesting week of 9-player football that I got to watch a decent amount of. So that was also a big.
I subscribe to that. I subscribe to that channel that the high school league has, and you can put all the tabs up and watch the games. It's really nice. So not everybody's on there, but most of the games are. So it's fun to be able to at least check in on them, and then you can fast forward through them if you missed some of it. So pretty good.
Yeah, without a doubt. All right, our last class of picks. It's coming to an end.
I get to go first.
Yes.
I get the free space. I'm taking Hills Beaver Creek.
Hey, that's all right. It's all right, Caleb. Okay, and with my other pick, I'm going to take Kitson County Central. Both of the 1 seeds off the boards there.
Good call.
I think this Kitson County Central team, they're different this year, climbing up the ladder.
I like Fertile Beltrami. I think they're playing closer to home at Moorhead High School, so I'm going to take the Falcons.
Yes. Hey, I get my pick as a default. Oh, dang it. Didn't do it right. There we go. I would have went Cromwell on this pick. And
you're going to be wrong, I guess.
Beltrami folks, you're coming right off the huge win. I think you're going to be in for a little bit more of a surprise playing this Cromwell Wright team. It's going to be a tougher matchup. And I think, hey, like I said, I like you picking that because that means I get a good default pick there, in my opinion. But I'm going to go Mabel Canton here over at Hillcrest Lutheran.
If I'd have had the pick, I probably would have taken that one too, but appreciate that.
So Hillcrest goes down in my book, but we'll see what can happen. Those 2-3 matchups are interesting and can go either way.
It's going to be a really fun setup. I think I was trying to look at the dates. Is everybody playing on? There's games Friday and Saturday.
Thursday, Friday,
and Saturday. Yeah, I see the 8th, 6th, and 7th. Yeah,
6A is playing on Friday. I think. What was it? Was it
3, 4?
3A is playing on Thursday.
No,
I should know this.
3A's on Saturday.
So is it 2A then?
Yeah.
I started making graphics for.
I'll just tell you, I've got it right in front of me. So 9-player is 11-6.
Yeah, I know they're playing on Thursday. There's
5A is playing on the 8th. 4A is playing on the 6th. 3A is playing on
it's
the
4A
8th.
that play.
Yep.
4A plays all their games on Thursday.
2A's on the 7th and 6th, 7th, and 8th.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because
they got 2
the
games
Jackson
on
County
Thursday.
Central game is at Orono High School on the 8th. I think that's the only one. Everybody else is playing on the 6th. That's weird. And then the 1A
Thursday
game
games.
is and then 1A is playing on the 7th. So that's a huge disadvantage for Jackson County Central. They're playing 2 days later than the team they're going to play next as far as like rest goes. Plus that team's going to come and watch them in person. I don't like that.
Yeah, that's
I wouldn't like that.
I think the best way to do these games is put them all on the same night, like we see with 6A, like we see with 9-player. 9-player plays all their games Thursday, and I think Class 4A plays all their games on Thursday. So I think it's probably the best format, like you talked about, of having. Nice.
The Piranha's on here. And she finally came over. I'm like, I don't know what she's doing, and all of a sudden she's here, but I don't know what she destroyed in the rest of the house. But this is Zola.
Worth it.
Yeah.
Oh, hello, Zola.
Yeah, she's doing pretty well.
Zola, the most famous dog in the state.
Minnesota High School podcasting, football podcasting. Yeah. So no, she's great.
Tough threshold to pass there.
Yeah.
Well, hey, that's gonna do it for
that's fun. I'm glad
edition.
Yeah, grateful that everybody's watching us still, and with the teams kind of dwindle down here, and it's going to be a really fun week. Like I said, I think this is the most fun week of the season after opening season because, like I said, you got 8 teams at each level that are going to really believe this week that they've got a chance to win it all. They got to don't look ahead, but right now there's kids with that in the back of their mind that they can raise that trophy Thanksgiving weekend. So, I'm excited.
Yes. So hey. Well, the picks are in. We'll see who's right and who's wrong, and where we come out on Cole's Cash by next week. Now we got some hard, fast evidence.
I can't wait to go shopping at the end of the season with all my Cole's Cash.
And we'll definitely be checking the record after next week.
Roll the tape.
Yes, we'll roll the tape back. But yeah, if you've made it this far, share it out to anybody in your community, whether it's coaches, players, fans. Or just share it on your Facebook and see who enjoys the show. We appreciate it, and it's been fun. And there's more to come yet. The season isn't over.
I'm excited for next week too. We just keep winding it down a little bit tighter. So enjoy the games. Good luck to all the teams, and look forward to next week and breaking it down.
Yes, sir. See you guys later.
Thanks for watching.